they used to laugh at Earth. In the bustling chambers of the Galactic Council, the Terran representatives were barely tolerated, humored really, the way one humors a pet that thinks it's people. Earth's early attempts at interstellar diplomacy had been clumsy, their ships outdated, and their understanding of galactic politics naive. What little Earth contributed to trade or technology was considered derivative, patched together with reverse-engineered scraps. But the loudest joke of all, the one that outlasted centuries, was Project Leviathan. No one even believed the ship existed. A planetary supercarrier, capable of housing millions vanishing from scanners and projecting power across sectors. It was a Terran fairy tale, told to their own citizens to inspire hope in a hopeless era. The last known transmission about Leviathan came 82 years ago, a garbled signal during an uncharted jump test, followed by silence. Earth declared it missing, the galaxy declared it fiction. Decades passed, Earth's expansion slowed, their embassies emptied. Human presence faded from the star lanes. Pirates grew bold near the Terran border. Some claimed Earth had fallen into internal conflict. Others whispered of disease, collapse, or a secret withdrawal. The Council moved on. The Thraxian hegemony split Earth's former zones of influence with the Velethia Accord and the merchants of Yern. It was a quiet, bloodless partition. No one resisted. Then the anomalies began. First came the silence, entire pirate fleets disappearing near the outer crescent without distress calls or wreckage. Then came the derelicts, alien scout ships found intact but empty, crews gone, logs corrupted beyond recovery. Energy signatures around the wrecks twisted in patterns that didn't match known warp tech. The Thrax dismissed them as space storms or experimental mining drones. The Velethi claimed it was a Thrax trick. No one thought of Earth until the Gorian incident. A mid-range Velethi mining hauler, the Gorian Prospect, transmitted a panicked distress call. Multiple unknown contacts, approaching fast. The ship's systems failed one by one. No weapons fired, just the sharp shutdown of light, gravity, even time perception. Then came a voice, calm, Terran accented, a single line. "You are trespassing. Retreat or be removed." The feed cut out. 3 hours later, the Gorian was found docked on a Thraxian station, every crew member unharmed but unconscious, with no memory beyond the voice. The hull had been repaired, systems scrubbed clean, not hacked, cleansed. That's when the Council began to take the report seriously. Rumors resurfaced. Was this Earth's ghost ship? Could the Leviathan have survived? And if so, where had it been hiding for almost a century? Dozens of recon ships were dispatched, only half returned. The ones that did spoke of a massive structure hanging in the WUM. Dark, cloaked in gravity shadows, larger than a moon and shaped like an inverted crescent. It didn't broadcast signals, it listened, watching, waiting, measuring. No one laughed now. The name Leviathan began to return to alien lips, not as a joke, but as a question. Had Earth really vanished? Or had they simply gone quiet, building the very thing they were mocked for? Whatever it was out there, it wasn't sleeping anymore. The Thrax scout ship Rithan's Eye was the first to get close enough to confirm visual contact. It dropped out of warp near grid sector XZ31, expecting to map a radiation anomaly. What it found was a silhouette too precise to be natural, an object nearly 300 kilometers long, matte black against the void and motionless. Before it could transmit a full scan, its system shut down. No warning, no surge, just silence. The backup pod auto-launched. It barely escaped. Its lone survivor arrived catatonic, scribbling the same phrase over and over on the bulkhead with his own. Blood. It moved like a god. The Velethi responded by sending in cloaked recon ships. What they found defied explanation. The object, clearly constructed, shifted shape as if alive. Its surface rippled with unseen logic, folding light around itself like silk. Interference pulses struck at random, distorting their sensors. Then the signal came, sharp and unmistakable. "This is Earth Vessel Leviathan 01, voice of Sol Command. Identify yourselves." The recon team didn't respond. They fled. But Leviathan didn't pursue. It returned to stillness, as if nothing had happened. The recording was shown to the Galactic Council. Silence followed. Not confusion. Fear. Earth hadn't gone quiet because they failed. They had gone dark to build something the galaxy couldn't comprehend. Panic spread among the mid-tier powers. The merchants of Yearn suspended trade with Earth's former colonies. The Torgathi Federation recalled its frontier diplomats. The Tharax, prideful and paranoid, did the only thing they knew how. They prepared a military response. Within a week, a Tharaxian destroyer squadron warped to the coordinates given by their scouts. No transmission came back. Just telemetry, brief. Flashes of gravitational spikes and heat bursts that resembled no known weapon. When the Council tried to contact Earth's planetary government, there was no reply. Not a refusal, just static. Then, without fanfare, the stars around Sector XZ31 blinked, not disappeared, blocked. Across 17 Council observation arrays, a shape emerged from the dark, uncloaking not by technology, but by choice. It was the Leviathan, alive. A ship so vast and alien that it didn't orbit, it commanded gravity. Hull segments opened and closed like breathing gills. Defensive patterns glowed briefly before vanishing, unreadable to every known scanner. And through it all, it broadcast no threats, only a message, calm and clear, from its onboard AI, Cassiel. "Observe if you must. Interfere, and you will be escorted from the field. Earth does not seek war, but we do not fear it." The broadcast lasted 9 seconds. Then silence. For the first time in centuries, the core empires met in private. Not about war, about containment. Because if Earth had built one of these and hidden it for 80 years, what else had they built? The galaxy didn't laugh anymore. It held its breath. Because Leviathan wasn't a declaration, it was a demonstration. The Tharaxian hegemony launched their attack exactly 6 days after the council session. Officially, it was labeled a containment maneuver. Unofficially, it was fear wrapped in arrogance. 200 capital-class warships, including 7 dreadnoughts, converged on Sector XZ31 with the express intent of forcing the Leviathan to stand down or be dismantled. Leviathan remained still. The fleet encircled it in a classic choke formation. Scans were blocked by interference fields that bent and folded sensor data into nonsense. The Tharax assumed it was a bluff, an old Earth trick. They charged weapons. Target locks failed. Manual overrides were engaged. The first missiles fired. None of them reached their targets. The instant the attack began, space itself warped. The attacking ships were caught in a ripple, subtle at first, like static in the void. Then the Leviathan moved. Not through thrusters, but through sheer will. The space around it folded. One Tharax battleship turned on its axis and imploded from within. Another mid-broadside was frozen in time, its own plasma beam trapped in a static loop that melted its forward decks. Leviathan didn't retaliate with traditional weapons. It dismantled attacks with impossible precision. Defense turrets formed. Out of the hull itself, liquid metal shaped by magnetogravity snapping into existence, firing a single silent shot, then dissolving. One dreadnought vanished entirely. No explosion, no wreckage, just gone. In 7 minutes, the fleet was broken. Over 150 ships rendered inoperative. Some drifted powerless, others were cut neatly in half with no visible projectile. A Tharax command cruiser attempted retreat. It warped out, only to reappear 3 seconds later upside down beside the Leviathan's main viewing arc. The message came again. You initiated violence. You will not be pursued. Leave or be ended. What remained of the Tharax fleet complied. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The broadcast, though limited in reach, was immediately leaked across thousands of networks. Hushed council meetings turned into shouting matches. The Velethi Accord suspended all expansion missions. Smaller powers begged Earth for neutrality agreements. The most terrifying part? Leviathan didn't chase victory. It didn't leave its post. No retaliation, no threats, no declarations of supremacy, just silence. Calculated surgical silence. Engineers and military analysts scrambled to deconstruct the footage. Nothing made sense. The Leviathan's hull adapted in real time. Its shielding wasn't energy-based. It was spatial, distorting trajectories before impact. The energy it emitted didn't match any known spectrum. The Tharax called it black magic. The Velethi called it post-dimensional warfare. But Earth didn't call it anything. Their only official transmission came through a decoded burst. Leviathan was Phase 1. No context, no follow-up. Speculation exploded. Was Earth preparing? More. Was Leviathan just a prototype? Had they built others, larger, stronger, stranger? The council convened again. This time there were no smug expressions, only fear. Earth, once mocked for dreaming too big, had vanished from the board for a century, only to return with a single ship that erased an entire fleet without blinking, and they weren't even trying. Leviathan never moved from its position. It hovered, silently over Sector XZ-31, a sentinel wrapped in myth, watching systems it once had no claim to. Earth didn't issue demands. It didn't occupy territory. It simply was, present, undeniable. And that presence was enough to shift the balance of the entire galaxy. Where once humans had begged for trade routes and minor council seats, now the most powerful empires hesitated to speak their name aloud. Small colonies in the fringe, long left to die, began receiving unmarked aid. Famine disappeared overnight. Pirate lords fled without reason. Medical breakthroughs, impossible only months ago, were anonymously delivered via drones marked Sul, Command. No soldiers landed. No banners were raised. Earth made no effort to assert dominance. It just acted. Diplomatic channels lit up. Dozens of factions sent envoys to Earth, offering everything from alliances to tribute. Earth responded with polite rejections. When pressed for comment, their message remained brief. We are not here for rule. We are here to ensure peace holds, even when the galaxy doesn't deserve it. Cassiel, Leviathan's AI, was sometimes heard over minor frequencies, answering distress calls, assisting stranded vessels, even engaging in philosophical conversation with curious captains. But when asked why Earth had waited so long, the AI always returned the same answer. We waited until no one believed we could. Human culture, long dismissed as primitive noise, began spreading like wildfire. Ancient Earth texts, music, and ethics re-emerged. Young alien engineers wore Terran jackets. Warriors studied Terran martial arts. Poets quoted Earth's dead philosophers. The most astonishing rumor emerged from the edge of the rim. A second Leviathan-class vessel sighted for eye a few seconds before cloaking again. Its configuration was different, sleeker, more aggressive. Some claimed to see a third ship in a distant nebula, too large to be anything conventional. The implication was clear. Leviathan was not alone. Earth had not built one guardian. It had built a fleet, silent, watching, waiting. Despite it all, Earth never rejoined the Galactic Council. An official request was delivered. Earth refused. We offered our voice once, the reply read. You mocked it. Now we speak through presence, not politics. Cassiel's final known broadcast before returning to complete silence came after. The Tharax tried to deny their defeat in a public transmission. We did not destroy your fleet. the AI said. "We removed it. There is a difference. The former seeks glory. The latter only seeks silence." From that point forward, the term soul quiet entered galactic lexicon. It meant an overwhelming show of power made without a word, just action, precision, and an unshakable calm. Earth had changed the rules without firing a war. They didn't rise by domination. They transcended by patience. Their vengeance wasn't destruction. It was restraint. Unforgiving, unforgettable restraint. And in the corners of the galaxy, where darkness still stirred and chaos festered, one warning was whispered more than any other. If you hear nothing, if the stars go quiet, it means Earth is already watching.